Hi everyone! Today I'll teach you how to crochet a fruit bunny companion toy, the pineapple bunny. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for sousoude.com on the website to view it. This toy consists of the main body and accessories. Start by making the main body first. After completing it, make the accessories. Finally, assemble all the parts together. Then make the facial features. Apply blush to the corresponding positions. First, let's make the main body. The main body includes the head, body, arms and ears. Most of this toy is presented in chart form. Below, I'll first teach you how to understand the charts. In the chart, R plus number indicates the round number. H plus number indicates the row number. The increases and decreases explanation column shows the stitch techniques needed for crocheting the current round, including any increases or decreases. The total stitches column indicates the total number of stitches after completing all the stitches in the current round. While crocheting, you need to start each round with a beginning chain and end each round with a slip stitch to join. This video only explains the crocheting method, the specific number of stitches, yarn used, color schemes, and crochet hook sizes are not referenced. Refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Start from the head. Use the magic ring method for the head. Follow the magic ring, form a loop. The stitch techniques used include X single crochet, V single crochet increase, a single crochet decrease. Please watch my demonstration. Start with a magic ring first. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Hold the hook with your right hand. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Form a loop on the hook. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Make the loop slightly bigger. Put the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Keep pinching the loop. Maintain the size of the loop unchanged. This way, the magic ring is completed. Then start crocheting the first round. In the chart, R1 is 6x. It means crocheting 6 single crochets. Before you crochet, start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. The turning chain for the single crochet does not count as a stitch. That's why it's not noted in the chart. Now, let's start crocheting the single crochets. You need to crochet a total of 6 single crochets in this round. Insert your hook into the magic ring loop. Crochet 1 single crochet. Continue crocheting. After completing the 6 single crochets, close the magic ring. First, pull up the loop to enlarge it. Then tighten the starting tail of the yarn. This will tighten the center of the fabric piece. Next, thread it back onto the hook. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And draw through and once all the loops on your hook. Slip stitch is completed. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten it slightly. This way, the starting chain and the first round are completed. Now move on to crochet the second round. Pay attention when crocheting the second round. You need to press down the starting tail while crocheting. Start with 1 chain stitch. Then work a single crochet increase. That is, make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Insert the hook into the first single crochet stitch. Place the starting tail between the hook and the yarn. Crochet 1 single crochet increase, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Then continue in the adjacent stitch on the left. Make 1 single crochet increase. Again, ensure the tail is held down. After pressing the tail for a few stitches, you can tighten and cut the yarn. Continue to finish the remaining stitches. After everything is completed, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Tighten it. That's how you complete round 2. In later rounds, like round 3, you'll encounter parentheses. These parentheses indicate that the stitches inside form a group. The X number outside the parentheses means to repeat the group of stitches a certain number of times. Here it means to repeat the stitch pattern inside the parentheses 6 times. Start with 1 chain as the turning chain, then make 1 single crochet. After completing the single crochet, make 1 single crochet increase in the adjacent stitch on the left. This completes 1 group of stitches inside the parentheses. Continue and finish the remaining 5 groups. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase, After completing all stitches, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes round 3. For any subsequent parentheses, the meaning remains the same. All stitch techniques have been demonstrated before. Please follow the chart to complete the first 11 rounds. I will not repeat the demonstration here. Next, I'll use this sample to teach you how to count the rounds. On the right side of the fabric, there are textures in rounds like these. The number of these textures indicates how many rounds you've crocheted. 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. You can see there are now 3 rounds of textures. This means 3 rounds have been completed. This is the method for counting rounds. After completing the first 11 rounds, in the chart, continue crocheting evenly for the rest. It means 1 stitch corresponds to 1 stitch. The stitch count is the same as the previous round. Continue crocheting by referring to the chart. Pay attention, the increase pattern for round 19 is a bit different. Be mindful while crocheting. Do not adjust the position of the increases arbitrarily. Crochet according to the pattern in the table. When you reach the 28th round, there will be single crochet decreases. Below, I'll use this sample to demonstrate this stitch technique separately. Insert the hook into the front loop of the adjacent stitch. That is, the strand closest to you. Then insert it into the front loop of the left stitch. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Then draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over and draw through in once. That's how you complete a single crochet decrease. Let me demonstrate it again. Insert the hook through the front loops of the 2 adjacent single crochets on the left side. Yarn over, draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again, and draw through in once. Another single crochet decrease is done. This method of decreasing is called invisible decrease. Use this technique to decrease stitches. The gaps between stitches are relatively small. This makes the fabric more delicate overall. Then, follow the chart to crochet the remaining part of the head all the way down. Start from round 33. Stuff as you go while crocheting. Finally, leave a tail of about 15 centimeters for closing the opening. That concludes the explanation of the crocheting method for the head. Next, we'll discuss the body. The body includes the legs and the upper body. Let's start with the legs. The casting on method for the legs is the same as for the head. Both use the magic ring method. The stitch techniques have already been demonstrated before. Just follow the chart to complete both legs. Note that after finishing the second leg, don't fasten off the yarn. Continue crocheting the upper body. Here, I'll use a sample to demonstrate the crocheting method for the upper body. A new technique used here is the CH chain stitch. Watch as I demonstrate. The chart says 4 CH to connect both legs. Start by crocheting 4 chain stitches, 1 chain stitch, 2 chain stitches, 3 chain stitches, 4 chain stitches. After completing the chain stitches, pick up the other leg. At the last round of this leg, on the first single crochet, insert the hook. And work 1 slip stitch to join. Gently tighten the yarn. Now both legs are connected. Next, continue with the first round of the upper body. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This turning chain will serve as the starting position for each round of the upper body. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way down this leg. Pay attention while crocheting. Hold down this yarn tail. After the yarn tail is worked for a few stitches, you can cut it off. Once completed, move to the connecting chain stitch. Insert the hook into the top loop of the chain and continue with single crochets. Be mindful to work the single crochets tightly here. This will prevent large gaps from forming. After completing 4 single crochets, go back to the other leg, and work 1 single crochet in each stitch to continue. Once everything is done, go back to the connecting position. Continue picking up the remaining 2 loops of the chain and work single crochets. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. That completes the first round of the upper body. The stitch patterns for the following rounds have been demonstrated before. Just follow the chart pattern to crochet. When reaching the 6th round of the main part, you need to change colors. Here, I'll demonstrate the color changing method separately. First, everyone should crochet the upper body up to the 5th round. At the position of the second to last single crochet, the small sample is also crocheted here. For the last single crochet, start with an incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook and draw the yarn through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. This is 1 incomplete single crochet. Next, take the yarn you need for the color change. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Place the yarn behind the fabric. Pinch it. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Then join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Tighten it. That's how you complete the 5th round. The color change is also done. Continue to the 6th round. Start with 1 chain as the turning chain. Continue working single crochets. While crocheting here, make sure to press down on the 2 yarn tails from the color change. Place the yarn tail above the hook. After crocheting over the yarn tail for a few stitches, gently tighten and cut it off. Then continue crocheting based on the pattern chart. To save time, I won't demonstrate every single step from here on. Around the 14th round, you need to stuff as you go. After completing this part, leave about 60 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing the head. Please note that you need to put on the dress before sewing. So after finishing the body part, set it aside for later use. We will sew everything together afterward. Now let's move on to the arms and ears. You need to crochet 2 pieces for each part. The crocheting method is quite simple. Both parts use the magic ring method to start. Just follow the pattern chart to crochet. After completing the arms, add a small amount of stuffing. Leave about 20 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. No stuffing is needed for the ears after completion. Similarly, leave about 20 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. Up to this point, we have covered the entire main body. Next, let's talk about the accessories. The accessories include the dress, hat, and scarf. Let's start with the dress. We will start from foundation chain, then join with a slip stitch to form a circle. Then continue crocheting in rounds along the foundation chain. Here, I'll demonstrate the method for casting on and crocheting the first round. First, hold the yarn with your left hand. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Tighten the loop and make a knot. Cast on the corresponding number of chain stitches as indicated in the chart. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. 1 chain stitch is now completed. Continue crocheting. After you finish crocheting the corresponding number of chain stitches from the chart, slip stitch to the first chain stitch. The stitch count on the sample swatch is not for reference. Follow the chart and pattern instructions instead. Pay attention that the chains should not be twisted. Insert your hook into the top loop of the chains. Draw the yarn through. Remember, the joining slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch, so make sure to tighten it up. Move on to crochet the first round. First, make 1 chain as your turning chain. Then, crochet 1 single crochet into the hole where you made the slip stitch. Remember while crocheting, to hold down the starting tail of the yarn. Next, continue by picking up the top line above the left chain. Crochet 1 single crochet. For this round, always pick the top line above the chains and work single crochets. You just need to complete 1 round. After the yarn tail has been held down for a few stitches, pull tight and cut off. After completing all the single crochets, join with 1 slip stitch to the first single crochet. tighten it up. That's how you finish the starting chain and the first round. For the remaining rounds of the dress main part, the stitch techniques have all been demonstrated before. The pattern is 1 round of increasing stitches, followed by 1 round of even stitches. Finally, there are 4 rounds of even single crochets. You can finish it on your own. Set aside the completed main part of the dress for later use. Next, make the hat. The hat consists of a main part and leaves. The new stitches used include SL slip stitch, T half double crochet. Please watch me demonstrate. The crocheting method for the hat's main part is relatively simple. After you finish following the chart, leave about 20 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. Here, I will mainly demonstrate the crocheting method for the leaves. Start with a magic ring first. Crochet 5 single crochets. Close the magic ring. Then join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Slightly tighten it. That's how you complete the foundation and the first round. Next, crochet the leaf. The leaf has 2 layers in total. Crochet the first layer first. According to the chart, start with 6 chain stitches. Then down 2. Pick up the top loop of the chains and work 1 slip stitch. Next, pick the line on the left side and work 1 single crochet. Then work 3 half double crochets. Yarn over. Insert into the loop. Draw the yarn through. Now you should have 3 loops on your hook. Continue to yarn over. Draw through all 3 loops on the hook. 1 half double crochet is completed. Continue to work 2 more half double crochets on the left side. After completing, pick the back loop of the single crochet on the left. It's this strand here. Work 1 slip stitch to secure it. Tighten it. This forms 1 leaf. Continue repeating the pattern like this. Pay attention. When working the slip stitch, you can press down the starting yarn tail. Or after finishing, use a darning needle to weave in the yarn tail. This completes the second leaf. For this layer of leaves, use the same method. Pick the back loop and crochet 5 leaves. After completing the last leaf, work 1 slip stitch to join. This completes the first layer of leaves. Move on to the second layer of leaves. Insert the hook into the remaining half loop of the single crochet. Work 1 slip stitch to join. Continue following the chart to complete all 5 leaves of the second layer. After finishing the first leaf, slip stitch to the remaining half loop on the left side. Continue crocheting. Here's what it looks like after everything is completed. Finish with 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a tail of about 15 centimeters, then cut the yarn. Then flip both layers of leaves up to the top like this. Use a yarn needle to sew the leaf onto the top of the hat's main part. Let's take a look at the finished product. The sewing method is pretty simple, so I won't demonstrate it. After you're done, set it aside for later use. For the scarf section, start with foundation chain. Work back and forth. The new stitch used here is the F double crochet. For the F double crochet, place 3 stitches into 1 stitch. In the table, indicates working stitches in the same stitch. Indicates repeating the stitches inside the brackets. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. First, follow the table and cast on the corresponding number of chain stitches. The swatch has already been started here. The stitch count is not for reference. Follow the actual pattern chart instead. After completing the starting chain, dow 2, start in second CH from the hook. Work 1 single crochet into each stitch. After completing the first row, move on to the second row. Start with the stitches inside the square brackets. Here, the square brackets indicate working stitches in the same stitch. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. These turning chains count as 1 double crochet stitch, so it counts as 1 stitch. Then turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Work 1 double crochet with 3 in the stitch on the left. That is, work 3 double crochets in the same stitch. Yarn over the hook. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Continue to yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on hook. That completes 1 double crochet, then continue to make 2 double crochets in this stitch. This is 1 DC 3-in-1. Then continue to work 1 double crochet in the left stitch. After completing, crochet the stitches in the curly brackets. The curly brackets here indicate repeating the pattern. First, make 4 double crochets in the same stitch. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 4 double crochets. After completing the 4 double crochets, work 1 double crochet in the next left stitch. This completes the first set of stitches in the curly brackets. Next, follow this pattern and repeat until all remaining stitches are completed. After finishing the second row, move on to the third row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. These chain stitches also count as 1 double crochet. Next, work a double crochet in the stitch on the left. For this row, work 1 double crochet for each stitch. You can finish this part on your own. After completing it, leave about 15 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the scarf has been fully explained. Once all the crocheted parts are completed, proceed with assembly. Now take a look at the finished product. First, put the dress on the body. Then sew the head to the body. Insert the needle into the long yarn tail reserved on the body. Sew the body between the 34th and 35th rounds of the head. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just make sure it's even and secure. After finishing the head, flatten the two arms and sew them onto the sides of the body. Once the arms are sewn symmetrically, place the scarf around the neck, then securely sew the connection point between the two ends. After finishing the scarf, finally on the dress, use 4-ply combed cotton yarn to sew the pineapple mesh pattern. There's no specific requirement for the wrong side of the pattern. Just make sure the right side is clear and neat. The yarn tails can be tied off with a knot inside the dress. For more details, refer to the finished product image on the detail page. After completing the dress, pinch the ears flat. Symmetrically sew onto the 6th and 7th rounds of the head. No stuffing is needed for the ears here. After symmetrically sewing them, add a small amount of stuffing to the hat. Flatten it and sew it in front of the left ear. Finally, sew the mesh pattern on the main part of the hat. That concludes the explanation of all the assembly parts. Lastly, I'll use this sample swatch to demonstrate the method for making facial features. First, stretch the eye sockets on both sides. Take a piece of yarn identical to the one used for the head. Thread it through a sewing needle. Insert the needle at the connection between the chin and neck. Then locate the 19th round of the head. Count from the middle toward the right side. Find the first single crochet increase stitch. Bring the needle out here. Then insert it diagonally back into the neck position, exiting the needle. Pay attention to the exit point. It should be staggered by 1 stitch from where the needle entered earlier. Pull the yarn tight. This will create the indentation for the eye socket. Repeat by threading the needle again from the same entry point as before. Tighten it to prevent the yarn tail from loosening. That completes the right eye socket. Next, insert the needle from the middle again, and count to the first single crochet increase stitch on the left side. This should be the position corresponding to the right eye socket. Repeat the threading process twice using the same method as before. Now the left eye socket is also completed. Finally, adjust to ensure the eye sockets are symmetrical. Then tie a double knot with the beginning and ending yarn tails to secure them. Use the sewing needle to hide the yarn tails inside the head. That completes the eye sockets. Next, take a piece of 4-ply combed cotton. Extract one strand from it. Thread it through a fine needle. And tie a knot at the end. Sew the eyes into the indents of the eye sockets. When sewing, you can go back and forth a few times like this for extra security. This will make the eyes more secure. Finally, tie a knot to secure and hide the yarn tail inside the head. Break the yarn. That completes one side of the eye. Sew the other eye using the same method. Again, go back and forth a couple of times. Then tie a knot to secure it. Hide the yarn tail inside the head. Cut the yarn. Now both eyes are sewn on. After sewing the eyes, continue by sewing the nose. Take a long piece of yarn, in the corresponding color for the nose. Thread it through the needle. Insert the needle from the middle position of the row directly below the eyes. This is the spot right here. Then pull out the needle from the diagonal above. Sew back and forth like this to create the shape. Form a triangle shape. Pay attention, always insert the needle in the same position below. After finishing the sewing, the last stitch comes out from the other side above the nose. Adjust the triangle shape a little. Then insert the needle into the other side above. Next, bring the needle out through any position on the head. Make slight adjustments. At this point, remove the needle. Then thread the needle with another yarn tail. Insert the needle into the second row directly below the nose. Then draw it through from the middle. Then bring it up to above the nose. Exit through any position on the head. Remove the sewing needle. Trim off these two yarn tails. That's how you sew the nose. Finally, according to your preference, add blush to both cheeks of the toy and inside the ears. Up to this point, the crochet method for this toy has been fully explained. If you have any unclear parts while crocheting, you can contact our customer service, Susan's Family, supporting your hand experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.